bless everyone out there in Radio Land. This is Barry and Karen coming to you live from Embracing Marriage Ministries, and this is the Embracing Marriage Together podcast tonight. I gotta know which one is which. So White looking at me like, okay, which one he gonna say? So, because I did a Dare to Be Different earlier, so I gotta make sure that I do the right one. So, this is Embracing Marriage Together with Barry and Karen, and I'm Barry. This is Karen. Hello, my wife.
Hey, husband.
So yeah, we're here again. We started earlier this time because we're trying to get through. This is part 2 of our lesson on forgetting those things forgetting those things behind you. We've been coming from, and I have to correct something because I said last night that we were doing Philippians 4 and 13, but it's actually 3. So I'm gonna read tonight. It's Philippians 3. 13 through 15. That's scripture we're going to come from tonight. But with the title of this particular series is part 2 of it. We did part 1 last night and kind of recap. We talked a little bit about forgetting those things. How to forget. How do we forget when we go through what we go through? Do we? What is the meaning of forget? It's easier to forgive than to forget. So we talked more about that last night. And we discussed some of the things that we've been through as far as the forgiving and forgetting things and that kind of stuff. So just to kind of tell you basically what we talked about. That's what we talked about in part 1. In part 2, we're going to deal with the next part of that, reaching forward. And that was the part I was talking about yesterday is getting away from the things that's pulling you back. It's because you got to reach forward. So it's just to reach forward to those things which are before you. So now I'm going to read the scripture and then we're going to go into the lesson tonight. Like I said, it's Philippians 3, 13 through 15, which is, brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth unto the things which are before. Those things which are before. I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. Let us therefore, as many as be perfect, be thus minded. And if in anything ye be otherwise minded, God shall reveal even this unto you. And that's our wonderful, phone telling us that it has a notification. Okay, I've got a few notes on this, especially on the forgetting those things. And I should have got the notes on the other part, but we're gonna do it as the Holy Ghost leads. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the verse that verse 13, which is the let me brighten this up because I can't see. Okay. All right. So, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forward to the things that are before. So, what we're going to deal with tonight a little bit is the reaching forward unto the things that are before. We're going to talk more about that because that's what we're dealing with on tonight, is dealing with the things ahead of us. So, and I'm all this is all crazy. Now I got reflection on me. Okay. As long as y'all can see me, that's all that matters. So now, here's the thing that we're talking about tonight. I'm gonna read a little bit of this. This has come from a McLaren commentary. I think a sermon of Manchester's is the 3rd series. This is page 39. And this was something that I happened to pick up. I may have to kind of decipher this so y'all can understand what I'm saying. I'm going to just read this. I'm going to read a little bit of it. It said, let the bright, certain, infinite future dwarf us, for us, the narrow and strained past, forgetting the things that are behind. Number 1, forget past failures. They are apt to weaken you. Now, that's something that we dealt with last night was past failures. Dealing with past failures, dealing with those things where we failed in the past. Dealing with those areas where we did not do it the right way in the past. Or did not forgive the right way, did not love the right way. We just basically just did it our way and thought it was the right way to do it. The Bible said there is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof is a way of death. So also it says here that it'll be after weakening you. So those past failures will weaken the strength that you have in this future. So you can't let it. I always say it like this: you can't let your past affect your present, because it'll also affect your future. So you can't let you can't bring your past failures up into your present successes. You can't do it. So in number 2, it says here, be sure to forget past attainments. So not only is it they are apt to become food for complacency, for every vain confidence. So not only you forget your failures, but forget your attainment successes too. He's saying forget those things. So he didn't say the bad things, just the bad things. He didn't just say he said all those things which are behind. You have to understand when you read this particular passage, he was talking about himself being a Jew and being a Pharisee and being a Hebrew of the Hebrews and being and stuff. He said, but what all things that I count as value, I consider them lost for the excellency of Christ, and for to be with him, that I may know him, the power of his resurrection, the fellowship of his suffering, being made like unto in his death, and being found in him, is not having his own righteousness, righteousness by faith in Christ. So he knew that all the accomplishments and all the education and all the stuff that he knew, it was garbage compared to what he was seeking after. And so that's what he was saying here is don't forget the past attainments. Okay, yeah, you had a great meeting, you had great things when you happened in the past, you had great accomplishments when you were out in the ministry, but now there's a new thing, and now God wants to do a new thing, and now he doesn't want you, he wants you to put that behind you and go forward to the new thing. So number 1, forget past failures. Number 2, get past attainments. Number 3, forget past circumstances, whether they be sorrows or joys. The one are not without the remedy, the other not perfect. Forget those things which are behind. Now, he says here, that's what I'm going to deal with the next one, which he's talking about. Let the hopes of the future and lessons from the past alike lead to strenuous work in the present. This one thing I do, be the past what it may be, in the future what it may. I know that I cannot reach the one nor forget the other. It said, by setting myself with all my might and attain to present duties and reducing all duties to various forms of one great life purpose. Concentration of all our strength on a single aim, and that aim pursued throughout all our days with their varying occupations. What a great deal of life that is. We shall work hard and heartily at various tasks, and yet the good shall not be taken away from us by outward activity, any more than our possessions of it will sequester us from vigorous service of God and man. You got to be, and you got to be really highly educated to figure that one out. What he basically is saying is no matter the circumstances that you run into, we have a single goal that we're going to accomplish, and that should be your aim. There should not be your aim, and that's the reaching forward to things that before. Reaching for that goal. So the word here, reaching forth unto. Let's see what see here. The actual word they use for reaching forth unto is just to stretch out or towards, to stretch oneself forward to. And the strong definition is said to stretch oneself forward upon, to reach forth. So you're reaching for the goal, to reaching for the actual goal and the actual prize of what God has for you. Now, that's pretty much through with that. So, what will it take for us? Here's the application now. What is it going to take for us to reach that goal? And the ultimate goal is to be like Him. The ultimate goal is to be in His presence, to be like Him, to do what He does. So if we're going to reach that, what do we have to do to reach that? And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So, go ahead, dang baby. So, she gonna see and look pretty tonight, y'all. She gonna probably say something later. She gonna get something. The thing is that you really honestly, like I said, I want God to speak and Him to share, because I don't want to give you anything that does not. I want to give you what God says. I don't want to give you my opinion. I want to give you what He says. And I believe that if we focus on, and especially in the case of marriage, and we're going to bring this into marriage now, how can I reach forward? Well, number one, we got to learn how to forget what's behind us, because a lot of times what's behind us is trying to pull us back into our past. We got things that reminds us of old things that try to pull us back into those thought patterns or those behaviors. To give you an example, of that is we had a couple that we counseled a good while back, and they were married for a good period. They were married longer than us at the time. I think they were married a good while, about close to where we at now. Well, they was a little further than where we at now. And so, and they was having problems. And of course, you know, she had the issue was her husband was doing something that she didn't like, and so she wasn't too happy about it. So we had to counsel with him, because she kind of nagged him a little bit about it. And so she came to talk to her, but what really was the underlying problem wasn't that. It was something else.
Yes.
Usually, a lot of times when people come into and you counsel them, you really have to find out if you're a counselor. If you're not, don't counsel people. Let me give you a suggestion. If you're not certified to counsel people, do not counsel people. Please don't. All you can do is listen to them. If you're not a counselor, you can listen to them. Try your best. I'm sorry, seriously, try your best not to offer them any advice. Let them talk it out, because a lot of times they'll have their own answer. They just want to they just want it to be. They want somebody to hear, and sometimes they want them to agree with them. Other times they just want them to just listen. And so, one thing I'm not going to do, if God direct me, I will say something. I'll tell him what God is, and I'll share. Basically, what I would do, I would share what God's dealt with me and how He got me out of that spot, if it relates. Now, if it don't relate, if I've never been through their particular situation, I can't counsel them anyway. So, I'm not going to offer any of that. What I am going to turn them to is someone that can. So, if you find yourself in a situation where, and especially if you are a guy, let me tell you something. And we basically going to throw this out there, because we going to save a lot of marriages. Just telling you these few little things I'm finna tell you right now. If you are, I don't care if you are a minister or not, if you are not certified to counsel people and you're single and you have to counsel a couple, you cannot counsel that couple.
No.
Because number one, if you're single and that woman's having issues with her husband, she gonna want to talk to you, because she feels, quote unquote, she feels like you listen to what she has to say, because you're a man that listens to her.
That's it. And 9 times out of 10, she might not be getting that from her.
Get your mic. She can't.
Because 9 times out of 10, they might not be getting that from their husbands. You know, because we've always said that going to the opposite sex, that is not good. And a lot of times you'll find women going to men of the opposite sex wanting, sharing what's going on with their marriage, and then you might find a man going to a woman sharing with him what's going on with their wife. Well, of course, you know, 9 times out of 10, I always call it the damsel in distress. You know, when a woman go to a man, he feel like he got to rescue her.
Yeah.
And he got to save her. And most of the time, you know, if a woman going to a man, you know, and if he's giving her what she's not getting from her husband emotionally, a lot, you know, emotional affairs can come up. You won't be counseling anymore. Y'all gonna be in, you know. So it's a danger.
Yeah, it's a danger.
And they're gonna start sympathizing, and then you're gonna draw to that because you're not getting no sympathy from your spouse.
Yeah.
Now this person is offering you everything that's supposed to be counseling, supposed to be concerned, or you know, well, I'm just concerned, and you know they'll tell you, well, you can call, and if you need somebody to talk to, they offer you little stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you gotta, you know, when you do that's dangerous, and then everybody's motive ain't good. You know, they come across as concern or whatever. A lot of times it's dangerous.
Yeah. I've had cases where, and she's right when you say that. I had cases, and fortunately, God kept me, and I like I said, I've always, when I've had situations I ran into, I've always told my wife. If somebody come to me and say, hey, they start telling me about a situation going on in marriage or whatever, and it's a female, I tell my wife, say, hey, this is what I talked to such and such, and such and such was telling me about this and this, and she'll tell you, I'll tell you in a minute. And I'll share that with her because I want to hear her perspective. Yes. Because a lot of times I can only give my side, and I can see it from that side because I know what's going on. Because I already know that a lot of times that could win, especially if it sounds similar to what we went to. Because there was one particular case, you know what I'm talking about, when she was talking to me, I was thinking about myself. I said, man, that sounds like what we was dealing with. But what happened, I came down to my wife and said, guess what? I said, such told me this. Such I told the whole deal. I ain't never hide nothing. I ain't say nothing, you know, out of way with the girl. And so, well, I wanted to listen to her because I know that she needed someone to talk. Now, she was getting counseling. So that's what I told her. I told her, hey, getting counseling from somebody? Are you going to counseling? Yeah. Are you talking to your I refer you. I say if she would have said no, I say I got somebody that you can talk to. I give you their number. So because we have people in our church that actually are legitimate. They are certified counselors, and they are certified to counsel couples. We have a couple that we know personally that if we need somebody to counsel, we can refer them to them. So we don't ever take that upon ourselves. We only did it once, and that what we normally are friends of ours. And so when they're like close, we do that. But if they like people that we don't really know, don't do that, bro. Don't do that, sister. Same with a woman. If you had, like I say, he might get attracted to you because we've had a case that happened like that. I had a friend of mine. She's gone on to be with the Lord now, and the guy was liking her because he had problems with his wife. And she was feeling that emotional need. She was listening to him. She was being his friend. She was hanging out with him. And all of a sudden, he got attracted to her and developed a relationship, a soul tie, like you said, a soul tie, and developed this emotional affair with her. And she didn't even like him like that. That was the problem. She didn't even like the man like that. The man had done some, but her husband, on the other hand, could not stand him. Was a close friend of me. I was close friend with both of them. I was single at the time. But he told me this. And I hung out with her like he did. But the only difference is every time I would tell him, I say, hey, say me and such and such, your wife, we going here and there, and we going here and there. We've been here and there. I tell him everything. Yeah. And he told me, and in my face, and man, I want to tell you, I admired the way that you carried yourself, because you never tried anything, you never attempted anything, you never disrespected me or my marriage, you never disrespected my wife. I could trust you around her. And I was single and young, but I was single. Yeah. He told me, for me, that was honorable for me. They didn't say I can trust another man around my wife. Ain't too many men I can say that. That's what I knew that I say, yeah, I can trust. And I got one guy I shoot pool with. I had him with her, and I never had no problem with him. Because you know what? He don't act like that. So you can know, if you know a person's character, you can trust them. But there's some cats you don't. He told me about a guy one time she was dating, and his friend was trying to holler at her. Yeah. The cool.
Yeah, it's supposed to be his best friend.
Supposed to be his best friend. But see, his best friend was already liking him. on the cool, and she didn't even know it. But see, that's how they are. Yeah. And that's what made me not trust men and her not trust women. They do stuff. I did not trust. And there's very few dudes, a very short list that I would say, hey, I would trust my wife around, and I know that they would carry, and because my wife carries herself as a lady. She always does. People tell her that everywhere she goes. And so I know that they're going to take care of her regardless. But let's get back to reaching forward. Reaching forward is not allowing what's behind you to pull you back. And you stretch toward that goal. Your focus is on being better. Your focus is on trying to communicate better. Trying to find ways where you can spend more time with each other. Trying to find ways where you can date again. God, if you had, and we've been busy ourselves, and I've been yearning to get out of town and just spend some time with her, because we actually did that. Yeah. And my wife, and it took us a while, because I was always a person that traveled, even when I was young, and we did a lot of it in the church. And I guess after a while, we actually got in an accident, and it affected her more than it affected me, I think. Because she's still kind of jumpy when I get too fast up on a car. So, because it happened so fast with us that we didn't happen. We got hit from behind, and we hit another car, and it just happened all of a sudden. I was on the phone with my mom, my late mother, and she just, all of a sudden, my phone was in the back seat, and my wife's head was slamming the headboard and so dashboard, and I seen it was like a slow motion movie. She just hit it. And I got jerked forward, and it was like 4 or 5 cars that got bammed against each other. And so the thing is, we got to the point where I would want to go travel and do some stuff. And she was like, I don't know, So I was like, okay, well, she got to come at her own speed. So then one day, she decided, well, hey, I said, why don't we go to now? What really got her out of it was I used to have to go to UTMB, which is for those that don't know, that don't live in this area, in Galveston, it's UTMB. It's a hospital. I used to have to go there because before God healed me of Crohn's, I had to go get checked out, and they had a gastroenterologist there, and I had to go there. That was where my doctor was too. So I would go there, and we'd take that trip. Well, the first time we took that trip, we got lost. We got lost listening to that GPS, which thank God my wife destroyed, because that thing was trash. I mean,
no, the first time.
What?
No, we knew how to, because I had got it.
She did, because I listened to that GPS. It had us going backwards, and so I told her, babe, do you know what happened? They had changed the road. We had never been on it. They had changed an exit, and it was dark, because when we went early that morning, and so it was still dark. We couldn't see the exit. We missed it. We had to make a round, and we ended up in the right spot. But we just got us maybe about 10 minutes later. But as for once we got it down, we was in Galveston before we knew it. We was like, dang, we already? So we got used to doing it. But we loved to take that trip. We decided, well, since I stopped going to the hospital out there, we hadn't been out there in like months, years. When did I stop going? UTMB,
yeah. Yeah, it's been over. Yeah, it's been at least about a year.
It was a year. Yeah, before we start going to Moody Gardens.
Oh, it's.
That was the way. That was years. Yeah. So we decided she wanted to go to Moody Gardens for her birthday, which we didn't do. Yeah, we did, because we went. Yeah, but it was a mess.
We had a nice time in Moody Gardens. It was just the time we had
before
getting to Moody Gardens, because we had kind of sort of planned it. We had the day set that we was gonna go. I think we didn't have the time.
No.
Together,
we didn't know exactly when it was gonna close or
when it was gonna open up. Yeah. So, because I think I took off, you took off. But you know what? All things work together for the good, because it actually worked out, because you wanted to go early that morning, thinking that we had to be there early, about 8.
Like 10.
Like 10. Yeah. So we were supposed to leave at 8, be there for 10. Well, and then come to find out that so that didn't work. We got behind in the time, so we had called to find out. So they said, well, if you get here at 4 o'clock, y'all catch the special.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, and we got there at 4:00.
Yeah, we got there about 4 on the nose.
Yeah. So
we got there, and when we got there, we didn't know till we got there that they had a deal after a certain time, and we paid less money for the different exhibits that we had to go to.
Yeah, because if we would have went at that morning time, we would have paid $100, almost $100 per person.
Yeah.
So we paid about $40.
Yeah, we paid about
$40 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
it was a significant discount.
Yeah.
And then we enjoyed ourselves.
It actually worked out.
It did.
So I think it was just God's plan to get us there
at
late. 4:00.
Because we didn't know what would have happened. Because we got getting the road. We like I said, we were rushing, and we really wasn't getting ahead because we had a lot to do before we left too.
Yeah. So I mean, it worked out for our good.
But we did do a lot of. We started traveling in line, and I had missed that. And I say, well, we hadn't really since we started getting. Once we started really getting ourselves back on track, we started really getting everything together for what we were sitting to do here. Then my job schedule kind of changed, fluctuated because I was transitioned from one shift to another shift. So I was doing 2 different shifts, and my off days changed. And it was kind of chaos for the first 4 months of this year. It was kind of up and down, but we handled it real good. I mean, like I said, as far as us, when we started getting back into the church, and we started going to light classes, and so our life was starting to really just even out, but it started to get busy. And so we never really tried to had the time to just say, hey, let's go do something fun, because we was always either doing this or we was working. And to us, this is something that we have passion for now, and I'm glad that my wife, she shares my passion with me. You know, my wife helps me with a lot. She does, y'all. She helps us with a lot. She does the artwork that you see on the website, the stuff that we do, OBS that you're looking at. That picture of us beside by the way, that website right there that I was talking about is right there. Look at it, dog. Look at it. Look at it. EmbracingMarriageTogether.wordpress.com. We're gonna change that in the beginning, probably next year, but right now that's what it is. We're gonna change it to EmbracingMarriageTogether.com. We're gonna try to shorten that WordPress out. When we was going to change it, we discovered that their plans was not what we thought they was, so we had to put delay on it. We were supposed to change it last few months ago, but we're going to make sure that we change, and also get an email address that's attached to it. So we're going to work all that out once this new year turns, for probably sooner than that. But we're believing God for all of it to be taken care of. And so, reaching forward. It's not too much you can talk about on that, but if you have a goal, set a goal. Yeah. And goal setting in your marriage, we did that. We sat down and we wrote goals of what we're going to do with what God give us this time, to not to fall into the same pit we fell into last time.
That's it.
How do we, communicating with each other better? That
is one of our goals.
Yeah, one of our goals is to communicate and to listen to one another and to communicate better, to resolve our
issues and conflicts that comes up.
Yeah, resolve those quickly as possible.
Yeah, do not go to bed angry.
No, that was one of the other goals. Yeah. The stuff that we have, we say we want to use it for the kingdom, whatever. Like I said, when I used to be engrossed in gaming and on the game, that was a complaint. No, they're using the game. That's just you. And I'll say the phone.
Yeah,
So,
as y'all can see.
Yes, y'all can see. There it is.
It's in my lap.
There it is. So we decided, we had said, okay, this is what we're going to do. At a certain time at night, and the only reason why this thing is on is because we're doing this. But at a certain time at night, the only thing that's on is we watch a movie or something. Yeah. But I don't get on the game. She don't get on the phone. We just watch a movie until we snoring and cutting wood.
Yeah. So that is what our goal is, to spend more time together. Yeah.
And we did that today. I think we just sat down, and I think I was just pretty much. We was looking at a crazy news article. We was doing that, and kind of catching up on what was the day, and we talked, and she did most of the talking. She drunk an energy drink, and she was going. That's why I say, man, I'm gonna tell y'all, one of these days y'all gonna get a podcast with just her. Cause she say some good stuff, and so I wish she could remember some of the stuff she said earlier, because that's some good stuff. Cause really our best material is when we just running our mouths with each other. That's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah, we just talking to each other. This babbling on.
That's it. That's our best stuff. But we want you to know, like I said, that you can go forward and you can make some changes that'll make you be able to go forward. You don't have to live in the past. You don't have to allow your past to come into even your accomplishments that you had. You don't have to live by your past victories. That was wonderful. That was great. You did it. You know, yay to you.
Yeah.
But now it's time to do something else.
Yeah. And one of the things that helped me was prioritizing.
Yeah.
My time, because that was a goal for me, was to get my priorities to straight. Yeah. Because a lot of time I would get home from work, and I'm a country girl, and I'm used to big meals. Yeah. So and I would cook stuff that takes a long time to cook. So and I had to realize, okay, you know what, it's just you and him. Yeah. This is eating up a lot of your time. Yeah. So now I start cooking like simple. Yeah, she meals that don't take so long to cook, and then now we have more time to spend together. Because I mean, I love to cook.
Oh, she'll do the business now. She'll get a whole meal out. A whole meal out. And I was like, and I told her that. I said, babe, really, you don't have to cook that much. And it's because I love doing it. And I said, I understand all that, but it's just two of them. We have so much food to waste.
Yeah, cooking. Yeah, that's my passion.
She does do that.
So that was one of the things I said. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to So I started cooking some things that don't take as long to cook. So I said, okay, we can spend that time together, because quality time was one of the things that we did need to make a priority in our marriage. You know what it can do, and it just came to me. I said we can do a Cooking with Karen thing on Twitch. Yeah, we sure can.
One of these holidays, we're gonna use our Twitch for that. What I'm gonna do is to flip that camera around, and we're gonna do our do a cooking thing. We're gonna show you what she does on a routine cooking deal. We're gonna I'm gonna try to, hopefully we'll have something mobile where I can be able to kind of go around and show what we do. But I'm gonna flip it around, and we're gonna kind of just share with you how she prepares all this wonderful stuff.
And that was one of my priorities. And I think another one we said was to we were dating, but we needed to date a little more. Yeah. Than what we was doing. And a lot of times couples, you might not have the extra money. Yeah. To go, I think one time we were just going to the Tilt. Yeah. And we was
we went to Tilt because every console that I owned was gone. Nah, it wasn't on her now, because I think my Xbox was broke anyway. Because I had an Xbox One that was old, so that thing actually just died. I had my computer died. But she didn't destroy all that stuff. She did really just take it and just gave it back to GameStop. That's what she did. She told me later on, and I felt kind of, I was hurt. He ain't never, because we had we'd invested a lot of money in this stuff, and I was like hurt because of it, and I was like all tore up, and she felt like I was more concerned about that than I was her,
I felt like he idolized the guy.
Idolized it.
And to, next to me and God,
it was the game.
And I'm like, you know what? And I would always say that. I say, you know what? You put this before God and me.
Yeah, and it was true. She ain't lying. I did. I wake up sometime, man, slap that song going on. Now I learned how to be able to curb that, because I will get into that mode. Like if I'm in like a day, like I used to be on Friday, so Friday was my all game day. I would get up. I would pray and I would, read my word. I get my devotion and stuff, and then after that, I'm sitting in front of it, just burning time.
No, I took it to the pawn shop.
She did.
I took it to the pawn shop.
And
he come home. I say now. you're not gonna put this before me.
Yeah.
And the Lord no more.
So. She was more thinking about her than the Lord.
I
really.
was.
The Lord wasn't nowhere.
I was so upset because I said no.
Yeah, and I don't blame her. I probably would have reacted the same way if it had been me, because I did, because she was putting the phone before me, and I thought, and I was telling her that, well, if I can't be without that, then you can't be without this. I don't know, because and just I say okay. That's how it gotta work.
Yeah. So what he did to me, he went and he got rid of all the apps, all of them. He said, well, because he didn't have no game, so
I shut down all the accounts.
He said, well, I'm gonna shut down all the accounts. So he went in there and
I shut down the Google account, I shut down the Facebook, the
everything.
Twitter. I think we had. What else we had?
I think we had Facebook, we had Twitter.
Because you had got rid of all the other stuff because you didn't need it.
Yeah.
You had Snap. We had everything.
Every app you
could we was on every social site. We was on Snapchat. We was on Instagram. We was on Google Plus. We was on Facebook. We was on Twitter. We was on LinkedIn. I think that thing still up on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I mean every social site. Everywhere. I think I downloaded every.
Yeah, we was on everywhere. And
that was my entertainment.
That was our entertainment.
My entertainment, my apps, and so.
So we started.
That was my entertainment. Yeah. So you took away mine, not took away yours.
She took away mine. So so we both were sitting there looking dumb. That's how it worked.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Wouldn't come to no compromise. Say, okay, well, you know what? We need to just say what we wanted. We never would say what we wanted.
Yeah, we never. And that's the thing. Let me say. Let me say that. Say what you want.
And
mean what you say. If you okay. If you're unhappy with his consistent, say for example,
whatever it is,
it don't matter what it is. If he has a habit or if he has a hobby that he takes too far,
fishing or hunting,
he hustle pool. I don't care what he does. Golfing, and tennis or whatever he does as a normal man thing. Bring it to his attention that, but don't do it like you need to stop golfing. No, that's not how it works. No,
Trust me, don't. No, I've been there, done that. Yes, I have. I done it out of frustration, and that's
because you will be frustrated.
Yeah.
It will frustrate.
I did out of frustration, and I felt like you was just putting it before me.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't come out.
No, it wouldn't
nice.
come out pretty.
I'll say, and I didn't sit here hour after hour after hour. I'm like, well, when is he gonna spend some time with me? And I'm just sitting up here, and I say, well, okay. I looked at the time. I come, I say, and I say, it's almost 7 o'clock. It's almost 8 o'clock. So letting him know what time do you get on this game? So instead of me just coming out saying, baby, I would like for you to spend some time. I know you've been gaming for 5-6 hours, and then sometime if I would say it, I'd be like, you've been on the game for like 8 hours. You gonna spend some time with me?
That's how it come out.
When I'm frustrated.
Yeah, frustrated.
Oh yeah, when I got upset, I'm like, well, he act like I'm not here. So I had to learn, don't come like that. This, I just ask him nice now.
Yeah, she does. She let me. She asked me how long am I gonna be?
Yeah.
Just like that. And I said, well, I won't be too long. Like I think recently, it's the only time she ever had to say anything because I ended up getting a game that required me to. We was getting killed a lot, and so we was trying to get it through it, and we was almost done with it, and we ended up dying at the last guy, and I was like, no, I can't do it no more, y'all. Like I spent time with my wife.
Yeah, and I think one time I was on the phone and I was zoning out, and then you say, well, are you gonna spend, any time? Because you live, I get in that bed on the phone.
Mm-hmm. It's
all over. Honey, I'm scrolling and looking and
yeah, we had a wonderful conversation one night when she got there in bed. So it happens. Yeah. So this is the thing, y'all. We want you to learn how to move forward.
Yeah.
And the only way you're going to move forward is you got to forget those things that are behind you, and you got to reach forward to those things which are before. And you know what you want to accomplish in marriage. You know the goals that you've set. Mm-hmm. Set some goals. Don't just let your marriage be haphazard. Just set some goals and stick with them. Right. And just let God lead you and let Him train you and let Him heal you of all those past hurts.
Yeah.
All right, we're going into our and we gonna shut it down because we getting long. But we wanted to share a lot of this with you, and we just talking and just kind of sharing with you. So we usually go this long, but we want to be. We want you to know.
We just wanted to share with you. You know, that just set some goals.
Yeah, just set some goals
and follow through.
Yes, it.
Follow through.
That's it. Follow through. Go to this website, embracingmarriagetogether.wordpress.com. Check them out. We got links for this podcast and also for the video that you're going to look at. If you're looking at this on YouTube, like, share, subscribe. You can even comment, hit the bell. That'll give you notifications whenever we get another podcast going. And you can join us on the next time when we come with you. We're going to do one more part, and then we're going to be done with this. We're going to move on to something else. We're going to do probably a Dare to Be Different for the rest of the week. And so we're going to finish on tomorrow. You're going to see, I'm going to post this tonight. Hopefully you'll see it tomorrow. And then on tomorrow, the next night, we'll do another one, and we'll have that one up for the next, the same night. We'll have it. So we just thank God for you listening, and we hope that we could be able to minister to you in some kind of way. Go to the website again, right there, like I shared with you under our faces. We have a contact link. Just hit that, and you could be able to send us a prayer request or a comment or a praise report, whatever you want to send. And we'll be able to respond to it because we do respond to these things.
Yeah.
So we thank God again, and we will see you on the next time.
And remember that Jesus loves you, and we do too.
Amen.
Be encouraged.
Amen. Bless you. God keep you.